Today's America's Cup Racing is brought to you by Emirates.
What is it about a one-on-one? Mano a mano. Dog eat dog. There's a purity about it. One winner, one loser. It's beautiful. Win or lose. All or nothing. Me or you. That's how it's always been on the America's Cup.
The America's Cup is now New Zealand's Cup.
It's binary. It's brutal. It's addictive. For more than a century and a half, it's besotted some of the world's most powerful men. Giants of business. Winners by definition. And now, for the 36th time, here we are. Again. One defender trying to keep hold of the trophy. Three enemies at the gate. One will become their challenger. To earn the right to enter the ring, first they have to win the Prada Cup. There's been a qualifying series for over 50 years. 5 weeks of one-on-one racing. 3 teams at war. One will prevail. Only the best get a shot at the big time. So who's the favourite? Right now, we don't know. But we're about to find out. The journey to the 36th America's Cup starts now.
Kia ora and welcome to Aotearoa, New Zealand, affectionately known around the world as the land of the long white cloud, a young nation of 5 million, proud of its cultural diversity and surrounded by spectacular natural beauty, stunning fjords, rugged mountains, lush forests and geothermal landscapes, and 16,000 kilometres of coastline, which is why there's such a connection to Moana, the ocean. New Zealand is proud to be home to the 36th America's Cup. Host city Auckland, in Māori, Tamaki Makaurau, a place desired by many, and it's the desire of 3 challengers to be the one to wrestle the old mug off defender Emirates Team New Zealand. 3 years of planning, designing, building and training are about to be put to the test. These futuristic AC-75s go head-to-head in combat for the very first time today, and the excitement is real. We begin the Cup journey with the America's Cup World Series. 3 days of double round-robin match racing. That's 12 races in 72 hours. At the completion, all 4 teams will be seeded for the Prada America's Cup Christmas race. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. Then the game begins for real with the Challenger Series on January 15. The Prada Cup, 4 round robins, a semi and final, to see who faces the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, in the Prada 36th America's Cup match, starting March 6, 2021. Today, the perfect opening race. Defender against challenger of record, followed by American Magic and Ineos Team UK. Race 3 has Ineos backing up against Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, with the final race of the day featuring Patriot against Te Rehotai of Emirates Team New Zealand. First out of the gate, it's the defenders. Emirates Team New Zealand taking on the challenger of record, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli team. 75-foot foiling monohulls in racing like you have never seen before. Let's go racing, everybody.
The deck.
My rake, my drop.
Crossing.
Pretty even start. Prada probably a little bit behind, fearing that they were going to be in bad air, you know, in that kind of that wing wash all the way to the first boundary, so they just bail out right away, and pretty soon we're going to see split tacks back and forth. Is this going to be a match race, or is this going to be a drag race?
All good. Let's get onto the water. Early thoughts, Shirley, of what you're seeing.
Stephen, it's a race course designed for street fighting, for looking for opportunities. To me, the Kiwis look like they've done very well on that left-hand side.
Come down 3.
Emirates Team New Zealand approaching the top gate for the first time, and they are flying. And when you talk about crowd, well, in this part of the world we call it the home ground advantage, but look at the crowd in the viaduct, which is one of the areas that you can see this racing go, and Emirates Team New Zealand are around that top mark, and they are heading down to that windward leg. Emirates Team New Zealand in a commanding position, and we haven't even completed the first leg. They have come out of the gate in this opening race of the America's Cup World Series and are showing everybody that if you want to win this America's Cup, you're going to have to beat us as they approach the bottom mark for the first time. A jibe around that and head up, and that's the completion of lap number 1 of 3.
Last one over there, boys.
You can imagine Peter Burling looking across saying, "Arrivederci, boys."
Trying to take height. Coming in reasonably full, I think. Coming up. Good angle there. 3, 2, 1.
You can hear the voice of Jimmy Spittle as that starboard foil goes down. And they get ready to around the gate.
Little delay. You could see that tack was not going to be a good one before it even started.
Emirates Team New Zealand coming to the finish at the end of race 1 of the America's Cup World Series, and they do it in style against Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and the fans just love it. And those are young sailors wanting to be out on that boat. Te Rehutai. Peter Burling, how satisfying was that?
Yeah, I think it's you know, like you said on the broadcast just before, a pretty amazing day to be out here and actually racing. And you know, for nearly all of us, it's been a long time since we raced. For myself personally, it's been since February. So it's just amazing to get out here and actually line up with another boat and get to go around the racetrack with something up for grabs. And I think it's been incredible, seeing how many Kiwis have come out as well. Like when we pictured this race course all those years ago, and what it could look like with all the boats around, it's just amazing to see it actually as a reality.
Thanks for your time, Peter. Appreciate it. Congratulations. See you back out on the water a little later.
Thanks, mate. Talk soon.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, the challenger of records. Yeah. Finally coming to the finish line. It's only race 1, but gee, the Kiwis were quick. Time to go on to Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, see what Jimmy Spittle makes of that. Hey, Jimmy, 3 minutes and 13 behind. What do you make of that race?
Yeah, look, Team New Zealand did a great job there. Not too many mistakes. Unfortunately, we lost our starting software during the start, lost all the numbers, but to be quite honest, they were just much sharper turning the corners, so full credit to them.
Hey, Jimmy, wind shift, boat speed, combination of both, what do you chalk it up to?
Yeah, I think once they got clear, they were just able to really sail their own race. But I'd have to say, for the small amount I saw, they, to me, was just getting around the corners much better than we were.
Race 2, and it's the originals, the two nations that kicked it all off 170 years ago. Yep, the New York Yacht Club's American Magic takes on the Royal Yacht Squadron's Emirates Team UK. And the start is underway.
Just have a penalty to clear.
The edge of this race course comes up really fast.
Yeah, you're hitting this boundary within 30, 40 seconds of the gun.
Say again, umpire. Clear.
So let's just confirm what that penalty was. Let's go to Chief Umpire Richard Slater.
We actually had 2 penalties. Ineos was outside the boundary 2 minutes before the start, and the second penalty was they're meant to come in from above the line and cross the start line, and they failed to do so.
Well, until about 2 minutes to that start, Stephen, Ineos Team UK was not going to take part in the race. They have a problem with their foil control system, but just managed to sort it out enough to cross the line and get going.
You know, it's going to be a tough one here to figure out if this is a inherent speed issue from Ineos or if this is a real mechanical issue, and that's the reason why they're so far behind right now.
American Magic approaching the top gate for the first time. Ineos, Team UK.
Here we go.
This is a classic yacht race, but they are trailing.
We have a problem on board Ineos, by the way. Okay, here's a replay. Oh boy, here's the problem. Something mechanical.
So the rudder just sort of lost grip in the middle of that drive.
Rudder losing grip.
I think what Ben Ainsley was saying is I just completely lost grip. You know, if you get too high in the middle of these jives, you can get very little rudder in the water.
Ineos Team UK finally completing lap number 1. So we have just been informed that it was a steering cable issue.
There we go. That'll do it.
No higher if you're going left. One down,
American Magic rounding the top gate for the second time. They take their left-hand marker. It's a nice and tidy, although a lot of splash coming off that foil.
It's not the end of the world, just a little bit more drag, and instead of accelerating out of that barrowway, they have a little bit too much heel.
That big sound is the hydraulics moving. It sounds like they have a cow stashed on board or something. This is the hydraulic systems pumping oil and moving those massive wings around.
Ineos Team UK rounding the top mark and well behind American Magic.
Not having a great day today, though. You can hear the frustration in Ben's voice.
American Magic now rounding the bottom gate for the second time to start the final lap of 3.
Stand by.
We're going to try to go back, Stephen, and take a look at that last mark rounding by Ineos.
Okay, hold that for a bit, Charles. Yeah. 30s.
That looked pretty good to me. I mean, there wasn't much in that.
Just holding like this, copy. You might get
Hey, Shirley, we'll cross to you on the water. How slick does the American Magic boat look there, and what can you see?
We're glued to them. We're right beside them. It's in a straight line. I mean, they look fast and they look solid.
American Magic approaching the top gate for the last time. Then they will head downwind to the finish. They are in complete control of the second race of the America's Cup World Series. Patriot doing the job on Britannia at the moment.
Yeah, no question at all that they're fast. You know, we know they're going quick through the water. And from what we've seen in this race, their maneuvers are slick as well.
The question we have to ask, though, with what has gone on with Ineos Team UK, they are supposed to back up for race number 3. American Magic crossing the line in race 2 of the America's Cup World Series, and it's a strong performance from Patriot. Ben Ainsley and Ineos Team UK finally make it to the finish in race 2. They had a gear issue with their rudder early on in the piece, but they have mounted the challenge again and are back. American Magic gets the number, and it's a flat 5-minute win over Ineos Team UK. 5 minutes over Ineos Team UK. The battle is well and truly on. Coming up after the break, Ineos Team UK go head-to-head with Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, and American Magic gets a shot at Emirates Team New Zealand. The Prada America's Cup World Series has begun, and the focus is on Ineos Team UK and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, two teams desperate for their first point. Getting ready for the pre-start. I love the pre-start.
Yeah, the pre-start's great, and they're allowed that 10-second gap between the port boat and the starboard boat to avoid the good old dial-ups from the old days. But the dial-ups that I used to do happened with two boats going 12 knots, not two boats going 45 knots.
We see here Ben Ainsley rolling into attack now, and the real question is what is Luna Rossa going to do? Are they going to go past and push, or are they going to try and tack underneath and hold him out? And there they go, straight into it. Leeward tacking to leeward. Ineos straight off the foils. I expect a full park up here. Jimmy Spittle's very aggressive in the starts and just shuts the race down.
There's definitely a flag here, though. UK would be thinking that these guys tack too close. This is going to be fascinating to see. I'm guessing if I were a betting man right now, I'd be betting against Prada because I think they tack really close.
Protest said no penalty, Italy.
Wow, amazing. Now Italy, I think the wind instruments just nicked the transom of the Italian.
This is the
wind
umpires.
instruments from Ineos.
Italy, GBR, windward boat failing to keep clear.
There you go. Umpires think there was contact, penalty, GBR. Both boats late for the start.
What a turn of events. You know, that was really aggressive by Spithill coming in there, although it wasn't Spithill. That was Francesco Bruni on the port side wheel. He would have been the one that was making the tack. And now this is the same game that we've seen guys over the last couple of days trying to get the boat out of the water once you splash.
Strong arm tactics by Jimmy Spittle and Francesco Bruni, the twin helmsmen on Luna Rossa, to start out race 3, and they are away.
Pressure here. We can accelerate.
Shirley Robertson on water. That was a hell of a start. It was all looking so good for a moment there for Ineos Team UK.
Oh, it was good to see a battle, wasn't it? And I'll tell you, Jimmy Spittle's elbows are always out permanently. We're at the top mark. I don't know, I hope you've seen the pictures. And Luna Rossa Prada out to go round. Not had the cleanest of upwinds, but yeah, getting round the course.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli at the top mark for the first time in race 3.
I think the reason why they could be struggling is it's really puffy up there. You know, the wind is coming off the land. It's bouncing over the little volcanoes that are further to the southwest. You can see here from above, there's just dark patches and light patches of breeze. And it makes the boat incredibly hard to sail. You can see here, they're running out of pressure. They really need to get this jibe before they go out of bounds. It's definitely not going their way right now.
Okay, chase force coming in. Yeah.
Okay, they're out. So something's happened again with Ineos.
Yeah, got this yacht, so just make sure, Freddie, they know that we need them on the tow here, mate. Race committee, Ineos Team UK, we're having to retire from this race. Thanks.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, the challenger of record in the 3rd race of this America's Cup World Series on day number 1, conclude their race.
We've been having issues all day with our foil can system and batteries, so it's been a challenge for us, to be honest, just to sail the boat. And unfortunately, the whole thing shut down in that last race. We couldn't lift or drop our boards, and so we had to pull out. So it's a real shame.
It is a shame, but Ben, it sounds like it may be fixable. I mean, I've been in that spot. You're walking around right now saying, oh, please let it be fixable so we can get out here tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's fixable. You know, the guys here, Andy and Joe, I mean, those are guys who solid, you know, putting their solid hours in trying to get the boat operational for us. So, you know, we'll be out tomorrow, but it's just, you know, these boats are so technical that you go through periods where it just shuts down on you, and it's a tough position to be in.
Next up, 2 teams keen to defend their winning record. It's Emirates Team New Zealand versus American Magic.
Turning back up here in 3, 2, 1. Lines open now. Yeah, copy all the way up here, all the way up.
You go, Lenny, send it back. I've got nothing.
Yeah, somebody says I've got nothing. So they have had a problem here.
That was a great start by American Magic. I thought at one moment there they were going to get locked out, but Team New Zealand just clearly had some kind of problem, whether it was a time on distance issue or they've actually got a physical problem on board. But Dean Barker owned that.
You heard Ashby say something about a problem. So hopefully they're fired up and ready to go. Let's see if they can get it back together.
2, 1, keep pushing, turning.
They're both falling and at pace.
Let's see if Emirates Team New Zealand has their act back together with regards to all the systems on board. If they do, then this is as close to a boat race as we've had so far, and we could see some excitement.
American Magic approaching the top gate for the first time. They're taking the right-hand marker, and around they go, leading Emirates Team New Zealand. Look at the work that Dean Barker is doing on that wheel, hanging on for dear life as Emirates Team New Zealand now head into that top gate. Around they go, and they are the chaser.
Sure, almost your angle there.
American Magic flying into the bottom gate for the first time to complete lap 1 of 3, and they are flying.
Both teams look exceptionally smooth. This is a really hard maneuver. Round the mark and go right into attack. Really hard maneuver, Nathan, and sure enough, it did not go well.
This is something we've not seen before. In all the practice training, practice races that we've been looking at in Auckland, they haven't been doing this.
Emirates Team New Zealand are coming towards the left mark in the top gate, and it's 25 plus seconds behind American Magic.
They're not getting further behind right now, Nathan. This is a bit of a comeback with the Kiwis, and whether that is tactical or whether that is in speed, it'll be interesting to see if these guys try that other. They are going to try it. They're going to try to do a last-second jibe right at this mark to create a split right away. They're still racing. There's no question. They're still doing hard maneuvers. These guys don't go away though, do they?
Something like just on 400 meters downwind was the gap. Now it's almost to shave that in half.
Here we go. Tacking duel upwind.
We got a tacking duel for all you people that said it couldn't happen.
Coming up 3.
Man, if Team New Zealand are on ley line here at the top mark and America have gone further, we've got a big potential for an overlap coming to the top mark and a lead change. So I can't see from this angle, but man, he's definitely coming in. You know, they're inside 80 meters now. You can hear the pressure being mounted all the time here.
American Magic, they tack. So do Emirates Team New Zealand.
Could be that inside overlap that Nathan was talking about.
Top gate for the last time, watching closely, left mark.
They got it. They got the inside overlap, and they're not going to. They have no reason to bear off until they want to. Wow! One bad tack by the Americans.
Emirates Team New Zealand take the lead in both protests.
You're kidding me, Archie. Dean Barker just went one boat length too far. If he had just tacked that one boat length earlier, that situation never would have developed.
Penalty USA, but cleared. Penalty USA, but cleared.
And now Team New Zealand do a bad job out of all of that. So Team New Zealand got the lead, got the penalty, drew the penalty, but now they're off their foils.
Emirates Team New Zealand certainly had the crack at that top gate for the last time. They got the inside running on the left-hand mark and then just gave it away.
And well done, though, by the Americans.
So it's American Magic get the win of the Battle of the Heavyweights on day 1. They beat Emirates Team New Zealand. Emirates Team New Zealand crossed the line. Got to say, Pete, great race.
Yeah, we definitely, you know, didn't make life easy for ourselves in that one. We kind of, you know, had a little bit of an issue before the start and then kind of compounded into trying a few too many, I suppose, tricky manoeuvres on my behalf. But no, it was great to see, you know, what the boat could do, and, you know, to be able to make that many mistakes and still be in the race is, you know, pretty pleasing for the weeks ahead.
Is could some of this also be a little bit of rust or not?
Yeah, we were having a few little issues in that last one for sure. You know, I think if you looked at our performance, it definitely wasn't as polished as the first. But, you know, for us, the positive thing was just the boat was going super quick. You know, it was good to have a bit of interaction at the top mark. Kind of ended up, I thought they got a penalty, but they didn't seem very far behind us. So I'll have to go back and review and have a look at what happened.
Are you surprised how much you were gaining in the tacks as you were coming out to them on that beat?
Yeah, well, it felt like we're gaining pretty nicely in the straight line and nicely in the tacks. You know, I think the pleasing thing for us is that, you know, just had to keep it a bit more simple than we did and just stay a little bit more polished. But, you know, it's really, I suppose, pleasing if you can make that many mistakes and, you know, still be able to have a good nudge at the last top mark. And, yeah, I'm still not quite sure what happened there. We kind of wobbled our way through a pretty ropey jibe and then thought I heard they got a penalty, but still not quite sure what happened.
Going around that mark, you get around on the inside, you hear that they have a penalty. Technically, you're ahead. Your apparent wind is ahead of them. Why the quick jibe? Why not just try to control them right out to the edge of the race course?
You know, I think we just need to go back and have a look at what happened there. It was still, yeah, we were obviously struggling when they kind of, you know, half skidded into us. You know, we had a few issues of our own getting through the barroway, so, you know, we thought the best thing to do was just to get out of there and make sure the boats didn't make contact. But we'll be keen to go back and have a look at what happened.
Got it.
All right, Pete, thanks for your time. Look forward to seeing you on the water tomorrow, race number 2 on day 2.
Eddie, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Our biggest takeaway is that we got a long ways to go. For sure, there are points on the racetrack where all 3 of these other boats are quicker than us, and we need to be faster than all 3 of them at all those times. We're studying hard to make sure that we can figure out how to make adjustments to our platform to make sure it can beat all 3 other teams on the water every day.
So, American Magic takes the lead after day 1, and the world gets its first taste of Formula 1 on water. It's a wild ride, but it's only just begun. 4 more races tomorrow, 4 more points up for grabs. The Prada America's Cup World Series Auckland, New Zealand is underway.
Today's America's Cup Racing is brought to you by North Sails.